Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, and yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Before starting, I already told you that today's class is going to be on storytelling and prompt engineering. Today's topic is going to be so conceptual thing. There is no code involved. I'm not going to open Google Colab. We're not going to do anything. Only thing that I can show you is in prompt engineering. I'll be opening Gemini or ChatGPT and will be performing some prompts. But the complete class is me talking like a podcast. You may feel bored, but I'm just giving you a heads up. And before starting, I also thought of talking about the code. Oh my god, I think it got stuck. Okay, I think you can see the screen. So yeah, what I'm talking is regarding the code. Newland team asked me to talk about a few words like how to code and how to overcome like coding and all on what we do and all. So when I first designed this course, right, I know myself that this happens to all my batches, not only this one. To all the batches that I've taken so far, even Komala also knows about it. She's from one of my previous batch as well. So the problem exists comes from the coding part. Like whatever you see in the class, when I do coding or anything like that, you cannot code immediately. This comes to everyone. This everyone faces this kind of a problem. It takes some time. Like for some people, it may take 1 week to get into the actual coding part. Coding without actually looking at the screen is what I mean, without taking any reference to directly code from your own thoughts. It takes some time. It happens so naturally. So for that you need to put in a lot of hours uh, and practice the code part. Suddenly one day it hits you to code from your thoughts rather than taking from a reference. And for that it takes a time. For some people, again, it differs for every student that I've seen. Some usually takes 1 week, for some it takes 1 month, for some it may take 3 months of time, but it happens naturally at a point of time when you try. So my suggestion is, don't get afraid that you are not able to code, but my suggestion would be is to practice more on the concepts on why you are coding. Because nowadays even interviews are moving away from like sharing the screen and writing the code. From what I am seeing, I'm not generalizing this. From what I am seeing, even I am giving interviews. I myself give a lot of interviews every few weeks just to understand the level of questions being asked. And the interviews nowadays that I am facing is like, they give me a task, they give me 1 week of time, and they even ask me to use AI, and they ask me to generate their outcomes and all. So my suggestion is to understand what you're coding rather than coding without seeing as of now. Slowly you will get there. Like from your thoughts, you will be able to code slowly. It doesn't happen on the night. So yeah, this happened to me. This happened to the students that I taught from different batches. And all. I also want to tell you a real story, a real life incident. I can also bring up his name. His name is Likith. He's working in Google right now. He's one of my student. When I initially met him, I think I met him in 2023. He's one of my student in my batches. he doesn't even know what is pandas, what is matplotlib and all. Now he's working as an AI ML engineer in Google. So I'll tell you his story. He was not able to code. He was not able to write even simple algorithms. I asked him one time to convert something into data frame, and he was not able to even do that. But slowly practiced. He was. I mean, he started very small. Like he started with basic questions. He answered them first with coding, and then he went to a moderate level, and then he went to a higher level. Uh, so I was there in his journey till the end, till he got the job. So I know about him. I'm just giving you an example. It doesn't happen overnight, but it will take time. But suddenly one day it will hit you. You can code without even looking at references. From your thoughts, you will be able to code. Even for me, it took years of time to do that. Yeah, I just want to brought this up because the team asked me to bring this. And if you have any more doubts, or like if you're struggling somewhere in any aspect of you learning ML, please do reach out to me. I'm also open to one-to-one sessions. Like we can take over 15 minutes or half an hour time, and we can talk. We can see how I can help you out. At the end of the day, you should be better at this ML and all AI thing. So for that, what you want me to do and what I can do, we can discuss and we can come to a common point. Yeah. So yeah, today's class is going to be on complete storytelling. And Monish, why are you bringing storytelling? What is the need of it? So in as an ML engineer, what happens is after you do the code, after you create the models, after you get the predictions and all, you need to showcase this work to your managers. Again, it is different from company to company. There are few startup companies where you have to directly talk with the leadership team. If you're working in a company like Cognizant or Infosys or service based companies, or even Goldman Sachs kind of companies, there will be a middle layer where you will be only delivering to that middle layer. That middle layer will send it to the leadership team. But in some companies that I have seen, engineers directly share it to the BA and leadership team. So you should know about storytelling, how to frame a story, how to tell your findings to the leadership team. And this is the best chance to get promotions as well. Most of the time, the team who presents well, there is 80% of chance that they are going to get promotions in the next quarter, because the promotions are handled by the management and the leadership team. So you have to impress them. So for that, you need to learn about storytelling. There are different aspects of storytelling, and I'll talk about all of them. And then there are few advanced techniques on how to engage the audience and how to make the leadership team love you back, is what advanced techniques talks about. And finally, I'll go with prompt engineering. Good prompts yields good results in the AI. How you do prompt engineering, what is prompt engineering, is what we'll be covering. And all of this, there is no code involved in today's class. Just like a movie, you just listen. I'll be keep on talking and talking and talking. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the middle. Hmm. Yeah, any doubts still here before I start? Okay. But if you have any, please let me know. So yeah, before I say anything else, I want to do something. I want to tell you a story before we start any of this class. Um, I'll come to this. Why stories move people? I'll tell you a story. So a few years ago, a young woman, let's take the name Malak, named Malak, was struggling to get funding for her small business. She was a businesswoman and she was trying to get some funding for her small business. She had data, she had projections, she had a 40-page business plan as well. Every investor said no to her. Then someone gave her one piece of advice. What is that advice? Stop presenting the data. Instead, start telling a story. This is what the advice someone gave to her. The next pitch she gave started like this, quote unquote, when I was 9 years old, my mother lost her job on a Tuesday and we had nothing to eat by Friday. That's why I built this company. Then she got the funding in 7 minutes. So from here, what do you understand? I mean, I'm asking you a question to everyone. What do you understand in this? And let's take a real life scenarios also. Someone comes to you and tells you that they need, let's say, 30 rupees. Your friend calls you and he just says, hey, send me 30 rupees. Okay. And he cuts the call. And another friend calls you at the same time and he tells why he needs 30 rupees. Like, I was in the middle of the road. My petrol got over. I went to the petrol bunk. My phone pay is not working. Can you please send me 30 rupees? Now, in both the scenarios, to whom you will send 30 rupees is my question. Anyone wants to answer? Two scenarios. Again, I'll repeat two scenarios. You have 30 rupees with you, Abba, that you want to share. One of your friend calls you and just says, just send me 30 rupees, and he cuts the call. Other friend calls you and he tells the reason. He tells you a story. Like he is going on a bike, his petrol got over, he's stranded in the petrol bunk, his phone pay is not working, he don't have cash, and he immediately wants 30 rupees. Something. I'm just making a fake scenario. You can send to his different account and he can use the different account to pay for the petrol. He tells you a story. Now, to whom you gonna send the 30 rupees to? And both of the people are in same level of friendship to you. Whom you gonna send the 30 rupees?
Whoever convinces me with their story.
Yes. So that is the power of storytelling. The more the better your story is, people gets convinced to it, because all humans are emotional beings. We think that we are more logical, but at the end, when to the base level, when it comes to the base level, we all are so emotional kind of organisms. So we all tend to like stories at the end of the day, and that is where storytelling comes into play. uh, so this class in 3 hours, and thank you, Komla, for answering. This class 3 hours that we will cover two of the most valuable skills that you can develop right now: the ancient art of storytelling. Even when compared from today's storytelling, when comparative, I like the ancient art of storytelling a lot. I'll tell you the ancient art of storytelling and the very modern craft of prompt engineering. These are the three things we are gonna cover. And by the end of the day, you will exactly know how they all connect. How storytelling, how prompt engineering, how they all connect. You will see. Okay. Why stories move people? I wantedly have put this slide here. Even presentation also is not allowing me to put it here for some reason. I wantedly typed every single line of this, and I put it wantedly. So why stories move people? There are a lot of scenarios where you can get immense success by just storytelling to people, by just manipulating them. That is what even a lot of leadership people do. They make good stories to tell to people. They might be true or they might be false, it doesn't matter. Every person likes to listen a story at the end of the day, whether it is right, whether the story is true or whether the story is false. Most of the time, if it is a third person, if it doesn't affect him, he doesn't care. Everyone just likes to listen a good story, and we all have done it. For example, someone would have told us something, we add some masala, we add some spice, and we tell it to our friends. Why? Because we want to tell good story to them. to impress them, and they want to listen a good story from us at the end of the day. The answer on why stories move people is not at all poetic. It's not poetic, it's not related to any kind of logical and all. It's purely biological. It's purely biological on why we all like stories. And I have divided on from my research. I did a lot of research on how humans think and analyze stories and movies and all, why people like some kind of music and why people don't like some other kind of music, and what is the psychology behind that. And actually we can even decode, if for example you like a particular set of movies, we can actually decode what kind of person or how your brain thinks. So we can actually do that. And the science behind it is I divided it to four parts: neural coupling, oxytocin effect, memory retention, and universal language. I'll explain all of them. Neural coupling. When a storyteller speaks, something remarkable happens in the listener's brain. It literally mirrors the speakers. Neuroscientist, his name is, I forgot to mention it here. Yuri Hassan, I guess so. Yuri Hassan is from Princeton. He has put people in an fMRI scanner while listening to the stories. I think he published that even. Let me check. Yuri Hassan. Yeah, it's a real story. You can even look it up in internet. So what he did is, he uh, uh, he has put some people in an fMRI scanner while listening to the stories. The listener's brain lit up in the same region as the speakers. You're getting my point, right? The listener's brain lit up in the same regions as the speakers. He called this as neural coupling. Stories don't just transmit information, they synchronize the minds. Example, wherever I am getting a high when I'm telling you the story, there is a lot of chance that you will also get the same high at that particular moment. Our brains start to sync at the same space. Your brain and my brain, they start to sync together. And here's the key number: stories activate 7 times more brain regions than plain facts. This is the same reason why you are watching movies. You know that the hero is fake. You know that the entire story is not real. You know everything that is going in front of you is a lie, is a fake thing. But at the end of the day, people pay for the movies and they watch it. They watch a lie, a beautiful lie, because of neural coupling and the oxytocin effect that I'll tell you. So the director's mind and the viewer's mind, they start to sync up. Whenever it is not syncing up, then the movie becomes a flop. Any super hit movie you take, the director's mind and your mind start to sync up when you're watching the movie. So this is called neural coupling. And instead of telling a story, instead of telling a story without any masala, just say that a person came, a person hit another man, and he took his girl and he went back over. If I tell you this in a single line, you will still feel okay, something happened. But if I add some masala to it, like for example, the person came in a tight shirt and all, and he beat up all the 10 bad people. The bad people went up in the air. They all he hit the wall got break. If I tell you with added masalas and all, then suddenly your brain starts to react to it. And according to his research, 7 times more brain regions gets activated when I'm telling a story in this fashion. And yeah, when you hear a static, your language process areas activate. Only language areas process only activate. But you hear it when you are hearing a story, your sensory cortex, again I'm going to biological, but these are all real terminologies. It is called sensory cortex. Your sensory cortex, your motor cortex, your emotional centers all fire up at the same time. They all fire up at the same time, and you will feel incredibly good. And this is why in your childhood, if anytime your grandmothers or grandparents, when they they come to you and they tell you stories, right, you just listen to them and you sleep peacefully. This is one of the reason, because your entire brain feels so relaxed, feels to, it's like after an exercise how your body feels. That is how your brain feels at that moment. Example, again, one more example, I would say, I will tell to neural coupling and I'll move on. I could tell you the desert is hot. Just take this sentence. Let's take this sentence like desert is hot. Something. Desert is hot. This is not a story. This is just a sentence. Okay. Now I can rewrite this sentence like the air was so dry, it cracked the corners of her lips and she could taste the dust on every breath. So the context is same. Desert is hot, and something me saying that the air was so dry it cracked the corners of her lips and she could taste the dust on every breath in the sand surrounding her. Something like that, making it more poetic or something like that. You will feel, people tend to feel more depth in the second side rather than just me saying desert is hot. So, yeah, any doubts in neural coupling before I move to the next one? Okay, but yeah, if anyone not getting anything, please let me know. And the next is oxytocin effect. If this also have done a lot of research. Paul Zak at Claremont University. Yeah, Claremont University. Paul Zak from Claremont University ran studies where he gave people character-driven stories to watch. He measured their oxytocin levels, that is the trust hormone. Oxytocin means trust hormone in your brain. The more, if someone talks to you and oxytocin releases in your brain, you usually trust them. This is what tells you whom to trust and whom not to trust. So yeah, the trust hormone is your oxytocin. Before, and he analyzed people's before and after hormonal changes, and stories triggered oxytocin release. And the people with higher oxytocin levels donated 56% more money to charity rather than the people who have not donated it. Stories don't just move emotions, they move behavior. This is the same effect happens to you. You go and watch an action movie. For the next 1 or 2 hours, your brain thinks like an action movie. Suddenly you for example, you watch a patriotic movie. For the next 1 or 2 hours, you're gonna be so patriotic. So that happens because of this oxytocin effect. It releases so many trust hormones that you yourself believe that you are so patriotic, you are an action hero. It's again science. It again pure science. Whatever the character that you see on the screen, if you are connected to the character, if you love that character, for the next few hours until your oxytocin gets reset, you're gonna behave like them, because your mind tells to your body that you are that character. It makes you believe, it makes you trust it, and that effect is called oxytocin effect. It's so simple. I think you all would have experienced in one part of your life, even in your childhood. Sometimes you like a character, and suddenly after the movie, you start to, you tend to make believe like that character, and suddenly, slowly, it fades away, and you come to your original character. Yeah. Any doubts in this too? Okay. Next, memory retention. For this also, I know a person, Jennifer. So I think Stanford, yeah, Stanford professor Jennifer Aker found that people remember stories 22 times better than isolated facts. Example, our classes are the code part or the technical things or anything that you studied. If I ask you about a movie that you liked, which is 10 years back, you start to tell me all the facts, all the details, the story, what hero did, what heroine did, what the villain did and all. But if I ask a concept that you have a technical concept that you have learned 10 years back, you would not remember it, and that is totally fine. If you are not able to remember it, you are a normal human being, which represents you are a normal human being. Why? Because in stories, people tend to remember 22 times better, rather than isolated simple facts. So if you're trying to teach something, even in my classes, even if I try to teach something, I always try to relate it with some or the other kind of examples. That is the same reason, even from the first class, I'm bringing a child, a baby, into all my examples. I'm trying to develop a story from a child. A 5-year child is who gets consciousness is AI. A 3-year child who gets to talk and listen is your NLP. This is the same reason I was bringing the same example with different context levels into this classes, because for memory retention. So whenever I learned it from this concept only. Whenever you want to teach something, you have to try to sell something. You have to sell an idea. You should not just teach. You have to sell an idea that will, at the end of the day, inspire someone. The delivery method matches a lot as per the content. You can take any example, but that example has to match your content, and that will be remembered by the people, and that is called your memory retention. So any doubts in these three: neural coupling, oxytocin effect, and memory retention? Okay. Yeah. Universal language. Storytelling is not a trend. It's not a trend that people have found so suddenly. When humans started to exist, storytelling existed. Storytelling, again, I'm saying it is not a trend. Cave paintings. Have you ever seen cave paintings? Cave paintings in southern France, and I think in northern Spain regions, they date back to 25,000 to 27,000 years back, before writing and before cities, before cultures even existed. There was storytelling. Cavemen, with their own blood and with some color dyes, they used to paint the walls. They used to paint the walls on how they went for hunting, and how they fought the elephant, and how they got the food. They used to carve into caves. So there itself tells that humans, biologically, they love stories. So that is why you can live without a phone, you can live without all the money in the world, but you need a person to survive. Isolation is the deepest punishment you can give to someone. You're getting my point, right? Isolation is the only deepest punishment you can give to someone. In all the other cases, because you might have seen people who are so happy with their lives, but they don't have that much of money. Even though they are poor, they will have good friends to share their memories, to make memories and all. They will have some people to talk to and all. But you keep a person in an isolated ward or something, he goes off the charts. His mental capacity goes off the charts, because that is something that drives people mad. Isolation. It make so biologically, we like to tell stories, and we like to hear stories. Abba, that's the base I want to create. And even cavemen used to do that, even when there is no language created. So when we talk about storytelling, we are not talking about a soft skill. We are talking about the operating system of human communication. That is how deep rooted the storytelling is for people. All the people who become millionaires are good storytellers. If you go and look up in internet, all of them are very good storytellers. You may be so smart, but if you don't know the art of storytelling, you cannot you cannot reach to that level. So any doubts still here in this four? Okay, sure, right? Did you all understood this four? I take it as a yes. If you understood, yeah, then that's great. Because for me, it took a lot of time to understand this four. Okay. The five core elements of any story. Every story you take, from a 15-second TikTok to a 1200 page novel, anything. It can be a 15-second TikTok video or as a 1200 page novel. They all contain these five elements. I challenge you. A very good story, it can be a TikTok video, YouTube video, anything. I'm talking about a good one again. Any good story will consist of these five elements. If any one is missing, then the story falls apart. It will not be, most of the chance it will not be a good story. There might be some what do we call, sometimes even if some is missing, they might be a super hit, but most of the times all these five should be present. One is character. This is who the audience should follow. If there is no protagonist in your movie or in your storytelling, then the audience will not know whom to root for, whom they should follow, from whose point of view they have to watch the movie. They will not know. So a character is very important. It's the key. Character is the key, actually. The character doesn't have to be likable. I research a lot about movies also. The character may not be likable, or it may be likable, but it should be a good character. It may not be a likable also, because I remember a few movies, only I rooted for the villain. Like I remember some of the movies where I remember only the villain. I don't remember the hero. What he did, what is, I don't know. But still, for this day, some of the movies I remember the villain on what he did and what he stood for. So there may not be a likable characters, but still you have to make them more. They have to be more relatable or fascinating. They have to be either relatable to you, or they have to be either or they have to be somewhat fascinating. So best example I can give you is Breaking Bad. Walter White from Breaking Bad is neither likable nor moral. If you have seen the series, it's a very popular super hit web series, Breaking Bad. It's neither likable. The character is not likable. He has flaws. He has done a lot of wrong things in his life. Nor he is very moral. He is to a very gray shades of character, but is absolutely compelling because we understand his psychology. He is in a situation. You will get a question to yourself that maybe if I am in his situation, maybe I would have done the same thing. The situations change the character. So sometimes situation make us bad, but still it is understandable. That is what you have to look for. And here you can also do a quick exercise in your head. Think of your favorite movie. Close your eyes. Think of your favorite movie. Who is the main character in it? Now, what do they want? Can you answer that? Like, close your eyes, think of your favorite movie, and think of the main character of the movie, whether it is hero or a villain. Just think for a second what he wants and what character he is and what situations made him to do that. Just think for a second. In Avengers Endgame, you have Thanos. These are Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. These are some popular villain characters, but they have a cause. They have a valid reason on why they are doing it. So that makes people to root for them in one way. and they make them, and them indirect, they makes they it makes them memorable. So that is your character. Next is conflict. Character is the key, conflict is the engine. This is the engine. Without conflict there is no story. For example, a guy named Ramu wake up in the morning.
Good afternoon, Manish Winkle.
Sorry.
And now for what time?
Alexa, stop. Yeah, my bad. So yeah, where I am. Yeah, let's take an example. Ramu wake up in the morning. He went to school. He studied for 8 hours. Came back to the house, and he had dinner. He slept. If I was keep on repeating the same sentence for 100 times, you will be bored. You will be bored of this sentence. Monish, what are you saying? What is there in that? Why I should listen to it? Because people like conflicts. You like it or you don't like on what I'm saying. People like conflicts. We all fight for peace, but at the end of the day, we need one or the other kind of conflicts, an obstacle. And without a conflict, there is no story. Go take your history books. Every history book that you take, every lesson that you see, there will be a conflict. Only because there is a conflict, people put that in your history books because they like those stories. Take a very good person who stopped the war to happen. His name will not come in the book. The person who went to the war, who fought the war, only we are going to learn about them. There might be hundreds and thousands of people in history who have stopped wars with just talking, with just going to the kingdoms, talking and putting their views, and then they have stopped the wars. You can even look it up in internet. There are a lot of people. This guy named Uddin or something, he stopped a war, but you will never see him in the history books because his story is so lame. There is no conflict, there is no war, there is no fight. Then people tend to lose interest on it. So that is where conflict comes into place. A man woke up, had breakfast, went to work, came home, slept. This is not a story. This is just a sentence. People get bored about it. A man woke up, had breakfast, drove to work, and realized he has been stealing from his company for the 3 years, and today he went to buy an Audi. Suddenly we have a story. Why? Because I have included something called stealing. I included something called stealing from the company. 3 years he bought an Audi, which is some event for him. So suddenly there is a conflict, and suddenly you started to pay attention. So that is what conflicts do. Conflicts don't have to be violent. Again, one more thing. Don't think that conflicts means only wars or fighting and all. Conflicts doesn't have to be violent. It can be internal. A person torn between two choices is also a conflict. It can be relational. For example, a daughter who can't tell her father the truth that the daughter is loving someone, and the daughter cannot tell the truth to the father. That's a story. That's a conflict. That's a personal conflict that is faced by the daughter, whether to tell the truth or not. And people start to pay attention to it on whether what is going to happen next. So the conflict is the question that the story asks, and the resolution is the answer for it. So that's the character and conflict. Next is setting. Setting is more than a location. It's the rules of the world. For example, a story set in 1940s Berlin has completely different possibilities than a story set in 2040 Tokyo. Example, Monish, what are you talking about? I don't remember the movie's name. It was set in 1840s. The movie's timeline is set in 1840s to 1860s, and the entire story is a person has to deliver a message. There is no phone communication at that time. There is no letters and all. A person started a journey from location A, and he has to go to location B within 2 days or 3 days of time span, because that whatever the message that he carries, it will stop a war. It will stop a war to happen. and that entire movie is his journey, like what he has faced in the way, what problems he has faced, how we overcome, how we went from point A to point B. That is the plot. It becomes sensational hit. I'm not getting the name of the movie. I remember the plot, but I don't remember the story. Yeah, but this is the story. But since it happened in 1840s, you believe it. Take the same thing to 2016, 2026. Will you believe it? You can just do a phone call, right? I could have just put a WhatsApp message and the war would have been over. So the setting also plays a key role in your story. In what timeline, in what weather, and all these things. Next is plot. Conflict is different, plot is different. The sequence of casually linked events. Note the word casually linked, not just chronologically. Example, let me give you an example. Let me tell you a bad plot first. Bad plot. The king died and then the queen died. Okay? Just take this line, the plot of the story. Let's say I'm a movie writer and I went to the producer. He asked me for the plot, and if I just said the king died, then the queen died, then immediately he'll tell me to get out of the office, right? Now I will rephrase this. The king died and the queen died of grief. The same line, same sentence, same events. Very different story. King died, queen died is different. The king died and the queen died of grief. With just adding 3 words at the end, I entirely converted the story to a different plot. The queen now died of grief on the king. But why is that grief? What happened to the queen is suddenly the plot. What is that grief? Why did she feel grief? What did the king did to make her to feel grief? Is it because only they are married, or is it something behind the scenes? Now suddenly people start to think about it. That is called a good plot. The difference between a bad plot and a good plot. The word because, the word double quotes because, you may think it's a very small term, but in storytelling, this is most powerful word in the plotting. I would say one of the most powerful word in movies or anywhere. Because it happened because, and then we start to tell the story. The hero killed the villain because, and then we go to the flashback and we get to know the entire details of why it happened. Because is one of the most powerful word in plotting the movie. Next, finally, is the theme. The theme on what your story is about. Your theme is sci-fi, or your theme is horror? Are you doing a comedy? Are you doing a thriller? Why I'm saying this is because, Monish, we have to talk about the leadership team, right? Why are you going into movies? You have to frame a movie to tell the leadership team. All you're doing is framing a movie. And why theme matters is because I still remember in one of the conference presentations that I went, there was a specific team. They made it so comical. Everyone were presenting in a very serious tone. Why? Because that was a leadership team of my company. We all were different teams. Honestly saying, my team did not win there, but we presented it in a very serious tone. We made a story, but it was more of a serious tone on why we have to spend more here, why we have to reduce it here, and how we make profits is what the tone. We went into, not only me, like there were 8 teams, all 7 of them went into a very professional, and we used professional fonts, professional way of telling the story and all. But there was one team, they went so comical, very comical. They used comical fonts, they used comical way of diagrams, and they made the entire story into a bit of comedy, and they won the presentation conference on that day. I was thinking a lot about how they won, because the leadership team liked their presentation. They laughed at the few moments. They got related to that, and finally they won. So the theme also plays a very crucial role here. Example, Toy Story. From childhood, I was thinking about it. Toy Story. Toy Story, if you think for a second, it's a very horror movie. When in your own room, there you are playing with some toys, and when you're sleeping, the toys are coming alive. Just think for a second. Doesn't it seem like a horror movie? Like you're sleeping alone in your room, the things around you are coming alive now when you're sleeping. So very bad things can go right. But they what Pixar did is they presented it in a comical way. Yeah, when I got some consciousness and when I was observing the things and all, still today I did not understand how they pulled it off. People liking toys getting alive, being alive in their child's room when they are not looking at it, and they somehow pulled it off, and it was a super hit. So that is a very good example of theme. It could have been a very bad horror movie, but they have converted it to a very good comical movie. And The Godfather, the movie called Godfather, it is about the corruption of American dream. So that is one of the theme. They have set a tone there. Mona, you all would have heard Mona. Again, that's an movie, a Pixar movie, I guess. Mona. It's about identity versus duty. That movie is all about. So the theme also plays a very good role. Any doubts in all these five? If you feel bored also, let me know. I know this particular class is going to be bored because no code at all. If you feel bored also, let me know. I'll try to make it more interesting by adding some more examples and all. Any doubt still here? Okay, but please let me know if you have any. Because because at the end of this class, you all have to write a story and send it to me. In our WhatsApp groups, just type a very good story and submit it. I'll tell you on what to submit. I'll tell you at the end. But that is going to be an assignment today. Next, classic story structures. There are different structures of storytelling, but I like these four a lot. So one, how do I start? Yeah, humans have developed several reliable structures across thousands of years of storytelling, and these are like the four pillars, I would say. And if you take Roman storytelling is completely different. Egyptian storytelling is completely different. Our Indian storytelling is completely different. American storytelling is completely different. So everyone has their own level of story structures. For us, if we need a song, we need a fight, we need this kind of things and all. If you take 1840s American movies, they are more like documentary. So structures are more different, but these four are very popular to this day. First is Freytag's Pyramid, 1863. Gustav Freytag. He's a German novelist. He analyzed classical dramas and discovered a pattern in it. Exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution. I have mentioned it here. This is what he learned. He looked at the patterns and he found. You all would have heard about Romeo Juliet, right? I don't know if all of you have read the Romeo Juliet's book, or if you have seen the Romeo Juliet's play. Not the movie. The movie is not so good. But if you have looked at its play, or if you have read the book, the Shakespeare's book, it starts with an exposition. Like we meet the families, the feared. Then it goes to the rising action. Rising action is where Romeo and Juliet fall in love. That is the rising action. They both fall in love and they secretly marry. That is what the rising action is. Coming to climax, Romeo kills, there will be a guy called Tybalt. Tybalt. Romeo kills Tybalt and he gets banished. That is your climax. Falling action is nothing but the plan goes wrong. Whatever Romeo planned, it goes horribly wrong, and there happens a lot of miscommunication. There is a lot of miscommunication. That is falling action. Next, finally, the resolution is both die, the families reconcile. That is how the play ends. I don't remember the movie at all, but I looked at the play and I've read the book. Only from these two I'm talking. So at the end of this play and the book, both die. Romeo and Juliet both die, and the families reconcile at the end. So this is one way of storytelling, by following this pattern: exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and the resolution. These structures give audience a sense of rhythm. They feel the tension building and they feel the release at the end of the movie. That is Freytag's pyramid. You take it up, and then suddenly you throw it down. You solve it. Next, my favorite, I teach this in all of my batches. I think Kamala also knows this. The hero's journey. My most favorite is hero's journey. A hero will be in an ordinary world. I'll tell you where it started also. 1949. It started in 1949. You can look it up in internet. 1949, Joseph Campbell. His name is Joseph Campbell. He published a book called The Hero with 1,000 Faces. My one of the favorite book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces. He had studied mythology from every culture on earth. This guy, Joseph Campbell, he studied mythology from every culture from the earth, and he found repeated patterns in all of our mythological books. Like you take Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, Quran, Bible. You take any holy books, you will find some or the other kind of hero's journey in it. And that was the pattern he found. A hero leaves this ordinary world, he faces trials, he transforms, and then he returns to the changed, he returns changed character. He becomes suddenly a different person. He will start normal, but at the end he becomes something that is way beyond to our imagination. Every book you take, every holy book you take, it follows the same pattern. The best example I can give, I don't know if I can talk about it. The best story that follows this particular hero's journey that I have read. I mean, I read all the most religious books in India. Like I read Bible, I read Quran, I read Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita and all. But the most story that I have seen that follows this hero's journey is Ramayana. Can I talk about it, or I don't know if is it okay if I talk? I want to relate Ramayana to this storytelling. I mean, to this particular hero's journey. I will tell you how it is connected. Can I talk about it? Yeah, I got a thumbs up.
Yeah, fine by me. Yeah. So
I another thing, thumbs up. Yeah, Niveda. Thank you. I didn't see any thumbs down or no, so I'm continuing. But if anyone have any problem, please let me know. I don't want to, make anyone feel bad or something like that. Then Ramayana is one of my, not one of me. It is my favorite. So how it follows, I'll tell you. Rama starts with as in an ordinary world. If you have read the story, he is not a god in the book itself. He is treated as a normal human. In the entire story, he is treated as a normal human, just like you and me. He starts as an ordinary world, as an ordinary person. Then suddenly, because of his father, he has to go to exile for 14 years. And then, still that is not the call to adventure. Because of some of the actions of his family, he has to go to exile for 14 years. Then Ravana comes. I mean, Ravana's sister comes and things go on. But when Ravana comes and he takes Sita, right? That is where call to adventure comes into play. That is what call to adventure is. Because of some action, the hero who is living in an ordinary world, who is leading a very normal life, suddenly tends to change. His complete environment changes, his complete baseline changes now. Because Ravana took Sita, suddenly his entire world collapsed. He doesn't know. He whatever he's doing every day, he cannot do it the next day. His entire schedule changes. His entire life changed. That is what call to adventure is. Then is the trials. Trials is nothing but the problems that is faced by our protagonist. The problems that are faced by Lord Rama. What are the challenges he faced in the forest with his brother? He doesn't know where to look for. He only knows that someone named Ravana took his wife, and a bird called Garuda helped him. Garuda told him like so and so. This person took him and he lives there, something and all. But he doesn't have any kind of help. He's not a king now. He's just a normal man in a forest. And only help he has is his brother. He became so helpless now. He don't know where to go and look for. He doesn't have any external kind of help. He is a king, but he doesn't have an army because he's king. He's nowhere related to the kingdom now. He's in exile thing. Then comes Hanuman to his help, and that is what the trial is. Trials are the challenges faced. What are the challenges that are faced by the hero? And this is the most important part. Trial is the place where you get connected to the character. The only thing that connects all of us is struggle. Struggles, because you have struggles in your life. I have struggles in my life. Lord Rama has struggles in his life. So it connects all of us. Lord Rama is king. I am not a king. He has a kingdom. I don't have a kingdom. He has a brother. I don't have a brother. He went to jungle for 14 years. I did not go to jungle for 14 years. But I still feel connected to him when I'm looking at Ramayana. Why? Because of the struggles. I also would have faced some or the other kind of struggles in my life. And he is also facing some or the other kind of struggles in his life now. So automatically my brain starts to sync up. And that happens to everyone. This is the most important part. If your hero doesn't have a trial, there is no way you can connect to the character. So trial is the most important part. Then when Rama is facing all these kind of hurdles, then comes the transformation. What is the transformation? He meeting Hanuman helping him and helping him to get the army of the Vanara Sena, and he again helping one more of Hanuman's friend in making him a king. All of this comes under transformation. This is the place where a human become a god. You're getting my point, right? Till the trials, he is just a human. He is a normal human like you and me. But the transformation is what makes Rama to be Lord Rama. A normal human to be a god. Because even though there are a lot of struggles, he's fighting every day. He's waking up, he's fighting for his wife, and he's moving on, he's moving forward, he's doing the things. One more classical example is Spider-Man. Majority of the people on the planet Earth, like Spider-Man. And this is the same reason is hero's journey. Peter Parker starts as a very normal person. He gets bitten by a spider, and he still faces a lot of struggles in his life. Only because of that struggles, everyone feels connected to Spider-Man. And he become a pop culture now. So even you take Batman, all of the heroes who face struggles, people tend to like them. The first Iron Man movie, which became a very popular hit, it's why? Because the guy named Tony Stark was kidnapped and he was put in a cave. In a cave, he was able to build a iron armor for him without any external help. Only with the metals that are found in the cave from the missiles, he was able to build an iron armor, and he himself, without anyone's help, he was able to escape. So we respect that kind of personality. we respect Lord Rama. Why? Because of the same reason. Even though there are a lot of struggles in his life, he was kept on fighting for it, his goal. So that is the transformation part. This is where your hero, your normal character, your main character becomes the hero of the film. Your Rama becomes Lord Rama. So that is the transformation part. And the next is written. This is one of the optional part, I would say. Some movies tend to end it here. Some movies try to give the written part as well. What is the written part is Rama meeting Sita and they both coming back to Ayodhya is the written means conclusion. So if you take the entire stretch of Ramayana, we start with Lord Rama we start with just Rama, who is a human. His entire life he is going to do something. He again comes to the starting point. If you look at the Ramayana also, he again comes to Ayodhya only. We start at Ayodhya, we end at Ayodhya. But what is the difference? He started as Rama, he came back as Lord Rama. That is what the characters changed. So that is your hero's journey. He started as a normal person. He has faced a few hurdles. He got some help. He came out of it. He again returned to his daily life, but as a changed person. That is called hero's journey. And my favorite, and his name is Joseph Campbell. And this is not just ancient myth. There is also one more person called George Lucas. He used this framework explicitly when writing Star Wars. Star Wars also follows a typical hero's journey. If you go and see, typical hero's journey. He has said openly also, like in an interview, the guy George Lucas who created Star Wars, he openly admitted that all of my work is because of Campbell's work. And there is no Luke Skywalker if there is no Campbell. You take Bahubali, you take any movies that are super hit, they all follow this hero's journey. A person starts somewhere, he faces struggles, he ends at the same place, but as a changed man. So any doubts in these two, Freytag's pyramid or hero's journey? And these are examples I've given: Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lion King. They all follow the same thing. And 96% if you follow your hero's journey, it's a blockbuster every time. Okay, if no doubts, then I'll go to 3-act structure. The 3-act structure, the industry standard for screenwriting. This is the modern industry standard, I would say. Like the Marvel, DC, Pixar, they all are using this 3-act structure. So the industry standard of screenwriting: Act 1, 25% of the story, they set up the world and the problem in the first 25%. Next 50% is the confrontation, they escalate the conflict. This is where your character is pushed to their limits. And the third is the resolution. Just to the extension of hero's journey, we have 3-act structure. All the Marvel films that you see, they all follow this thing, 3-act. Next, the story spine. Story spine is mostly used by only Pixar. I have never seen any other director or anyone using story spine. I have seen only Pixar doing it. So story spine is nothing but when any story starts with once upon a time, every day, until one day, because of that, until finally, ever since then, they are called story spiners. Any story that starts with these lines are story spines. One example I can give is Nemo. Let's talk about Nemo in 60 seconds. Once upon a time, see how I'm starting. Once upon a time, there was a clownfish named Marlin who was so afraid of the ocean, he barely left his anemone. I think the place where the fishes live in the ocean is called anemone. Every day he kept his son Nemo so close to the boy was stifled, until one day Nemo swam too far out and was taken by a diver. Because of that, Marlin had to be ventured into the terrifying open ocean to find him. And because of that, he learned that love sometimes means letting go. until finally he found Nemo and they were reunited. Both of them changed, and ever since then, Marilyn gave Nemo the freedom to grow. A classical story spine. So, any doubts in these four, the classical story structures? And if you feel bored, also let me know. I'll fast forward. I'll go to better topics. Okay. Again, I made an entire slide on hero's journey. I don't know why. I so love it. But yeah, this is for you. This I already talked about all of this. This is for you. I will send you the presentation, and this is for you. Coming to advanced storytelling, I'll go quick. So, where do I start? How do I start? Okay, so there are 25 narrative devices. I mean, I looked up in internet. I don't know. There are 25, but there are only top 8. Essential 8 are here. Knowing the skeleton of a story is like knowing music theory. You know what is necessary, but you don't know the complete picture yet. The difference between a component story and a great story is in the technique. The choice you make at the sentence level, the scene level, and the character level completely changes the story. Example, the recent movie I've seen, Durandar. On a page level, it is a completely different movie. When you watch it in theater, it is a completely different movie. So, how you deliver the characters, how you deliver the scenes, at the end, the outcome gets changed. Let me talk about all these 8 fast. In medias res, into the middle of things. This one, start your story in the middle of the action. Don't set everything up first. Drop the audience into the drama directly. For example, I can give you a bad opening of a movie. John had grown up in Chicago, gone to college in Boston, worked for 15 years in finance before he found himself in trouble. This is a very bad opening, example of bad opening. In media res, in the technique of media res, the gun was against my temple when I decided to finally tell the truth. So you're dropping the audience directly into the main conflict scene. Is media res. Your James Bond movies is a classical example. Next is non-linear narrative, Pulp Fiction, or any movies you have seen, right? You go to flashback, come here, go to flashback, come here, go to flashback, again to the present, flashback, present. That is called non-linear narrative. Unreliable narrator is what if your storyteller can't be trusted? For example, one person will be telling flashback in the movie, but as an audience, you know that you can't trust that person. That is called unreliable narrator. Next is foreshadowing. Foreshadowing is nothing but planting something in the audience mind early that pays off later. So, best example of foreshadowing is what is the best example? Foreshadowing I have seen a lot in this Mahabharata. Like Karna, a character called Karna. Like the entire story of Karna, if you see, there will be a lot of foreshadowing in the story itself. Like one day you will your vehicle gets stuck, and when you want your weapon to work in a very important situation, you will forget all the education that you have so far. There will be a lot of foreshadowing given to Karna, and at the end of the Mahabharata, during his death, all of this foreshadowing comes into place. So that is one example I can give about foreshadowing. So you know something is going to happen. There will be bits and places pointed everywhere, and that finally happens. That finally gets used at the end. Next is show, don't tell. Don't tell your, I mean, this also applies to you as an ML engineer. Don't talk about your story. Show presentations to the people. Your presentation should do the half of the story. So instead of telling she was nervous, show them that she read the same paragraph 4 times and she couldn't remember what she said, something like that. Don't just tell, but show your show your work in the presentation mode. Next is tension and release. This is nothing but Hitchcock ideology. There is no terror in the bank, only in the anticipation of it. This happens in the movies. For example, if there is a bomb wire cutting scene, you don't feel high. I mean, the stress happens when the bomb blasts. The stress happens during that period. When the bomb did not go off, right? During that period only you will feel stressed. That is called Hitchcock ideology there. Tension, you will feel tension only till that part, and then you get released of it. So any doubt in this 8 essential narrative devices? Okay. I think I can go after this slide. Okay, before the break, just this last slide. Let's talk about character. Because without a compelling character, no structure or device in the world will save your story. And how to write a character? The best reference I can tell you is again Ramayana only, Lord Rama's character. That's I don't think anyone can peak it. That's the best what do we call way of writing a character is what I believe. Or Krishna's character also I feel the same. But yeah, Rama's character is more well written is what I personally feel. So the wants versus need framework. First of all, let me tell you what is a want and a need. What they want, their surface goal, what they are chasing. For example, you want a Ferrari car. You want a Ferrari car, but do you need a Ferrari car? That is a very big difference. Need comes from survivability. You need water. You need air. You need food. You need a person to talk to. These are all needs. Because without these things, your survivability comes under question. You'll question your survivability. That is need. Want is something it may or you may have, you may not have, but your life will not change. That is want. You want a Ferrari. Even if I don't give you a Ferrari, you will be the same, right? You will still live. But if I don't give you air or water or food, then your survivability comes into place. So that becomes a need. So want is the surface goal. Need is the deeper truth. Those two things are almost always in conflict with each other. Example. In Ramayana, I don't think there are any wants. Yeah. One example I can tell you is from same example Ramayana only. Ravana wants Sita. Again I'm saying Ravana wants Sita, but Rama needs Sita. There is a two different conflicts there. That's why I'm saying these two are completely conflict into each other every time. Want and a need will always be in a conflict. Even in your personal lives, it will be in a conflict. Want and need, they don't come under the same umbrella at any time. Ravana wants Sita, so he took her. But Rama needs Sita. He doesn't want her, he need her. So he went on to put on a complete big war. So that is the difference there. One more difference I can think of. Tony Stark in Iron Man, he wants to be recognized. He wants to be recognized as the hero, but he cannot become it. So what he does, he lets go of his ego and he lets go of his selflessness, and then his entire arc in this film is how he really truly didn't want to become a hero at the end, but he became a hero because he needed to become a hero at the end. So yeah, that is one more arc that I can think of. Yeah. So whatever the story you tell, instead of using wants, you have to tell more of needs. For example, our company needs 30% of share to be distributed to the employment benefits rather than that. So this will be a more impactful than saying our company wants to put more money on the employment benefits. So whenever you use this word need, right, the context becomes so serious. That is the wants versus needs framework. Next is the three-dimensional character. A flat character has one thing going on, and a three-dimensional character has physiology, psychology, sociology. Physiology in the sense how they look, move, speak, the physical manners, the laugh, the way they hold their coffee is all physiology. Psychology is their fears, desire, core beliefs, the wound they are carrying, what they're afraid to admit, and all. Sociology, their background, family, culture, class. These all are your sociology. So any character you take, these three you have to write these three for your character. And types of a character arc I already told, right? Conflict driven character. Conflict driven character is nothing but person to person. I mean, what kind of conflicts can exist? Person versus person is the classical example of Ramayana. Two people want opposing things. There are two powerful people. I mean, they can be powerful or not. There are two people, two opposites, and they want the same thing. Here, one person wants something, the other person needs something. So the two are fighting for one thing. That is your person to person conflict. Classical drama. Next is person versus nature and society. One person against a system, a force, an environment. Examples are Castaway, Revenant, Erin Borkovich. These are all classical examples of person versus nature society. Your Shankar movies. Shankar movies all are nature society conflict to a single person. Next is person versus self. Internal struggles. A person a character at war with their own psychology. This is the most powerful because every audience member has experienced it. If you are telling, if you have never experienced a personal conflict, you are probably lying. Every human who has attained consciousness would have some or the other time in their life has experienced an internal conflict, and this is one of the most powerful. Yeah, any doubts in this before the break? Okay. Okay then. So take a break, take a 20 minutes of break, and after the 20 minutes of the break, write a sentence story using Pixar's story spine about a challenge you faced this year. It can be anything. And you have to start with once upon a time, every day until one day, because of that, until finally, ever since then, and the moral is. You can use any of this thing. And for example, if you don't want to share your life or anything like that, just fake something. Tell me a beautiful lie. Tell me a lie, but make sure it is beautiful. So write me a sentence, put it in the WhatsApp group, and why have I written this? Share your story with a partner. Identify what's the conflict, what's the transformation. I don't know why I put it here. I don't know what's going in my mind when I put this. Yeah, you no need to do this 5 minutes thing. Group debrief, two volunteers share, class identifies narratives. Actually, I thought of doing this. But yeah, you no need to do these two, but please do this. Write a 3 sentence story, or it can be any sentence story or 5 sentences if you like. Send it in our WhatsApp group after the break. So yeah, I'll see you after the break then. Yeah, thanks, Komal. I was reading your story. It's a very well written story, I would say.
Yeah, I had used your tips from the earlier class.
Mm, Kushi, someone named Kushi also shared their story. Reading it. Yeah, I want to read it peacefully. The yours and Kushi's also. Yeah, I'll start the remaining class. After the class, I'll sit and I want to read both of them again. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for both of you for sharing the your stories in the group. Uh, where did we stop? So yeah, just as a recap, the science of storytelling, 22 times better memory, and all of this is not made by me. Everything that I'm telling you today is has scientific backup. Only with scientific backup I'm talking. 22% better memory retention, 56% increase in charity and believability, 7% more brain regions getting activated when narrative, 27,000 years of history of storytelling. Next comes prompt engineering. Okay. Okay. All right. Our final module, like I would say, I want to start with a provocation. The most valuable skill in the next decade is not going to be coding. In the next 5 years, coding is going to be dead. There are vibe coders out there, and there are vibe coding cleaner coders also out there. The actual programmer, the actual so-called actual real programmer is going to be dead in few years, from my research. Even top technical people also told the same thing in the public. But the most valuable skill is going to be your prompt engineering. It's not code. I would not say it's prompt engineering also, but I would say it is not coding. The next decade is not coding. It's also not data science. Don't fight with me regarding now. Data science in the sense the actual ML engineer stuff and all. According to researchers at OpenAI and Anthropic, the skill that will most differentiate human performance is the ability to communicate with AI system to produce high value output. AI is already getting far beyond. So the person who can communicate with AI and can give better outputs is going to be the most valuable person. So you have ChatGPT, I have ChatGPT. You have Claude AI, I have Claude AI. But there are people outside who are making millions of money using Claude AI. They're creating apps, they're creating storytelling videos, they're uploading it to TikTok and all. So what is the difference between us and them? They were able to milk the cow more efficiently. They were able to get better outputs than us. So where are we lacking? We are lacking at something called prompt engineering. So the skill name is called prompt engineering. And here's the thing, everything you just spent 2 hours learning, I mean, the 1.5 hour learning what we have done, it makes you dramatically better at it. If you are good at storytelling, you're automatically good at prompt engineering. Again, take the example of a born baby, small baby. Okay, if a person comes to a child and talks so what to say, let's say a child at a child has attained 5 years and the child has attained consciousness. Now you want the child to go and bring you some glass of water. Okay, try to do it with a 5-year child if you have access to a 5-year child, if anyone have your kids. So just tell to the kid to just to bring water. Just say this word, say this sentence, bring water. Okay, just say bring water. There are some chances where the kid will bring water in just palms, in palm hand, because one of my nephew did that to me once. So with just the palm of your hand, right, he just filled up the water in his hands and he brought me the water. Technically is right, whatever I said he did it. Technically that is very correct. What I said is bring water, and he actually brought water to me. But the intelligence, that is what lacks in AI. When an adult asks for a water, what he means is to bring some kind of water to drink in a jug or something, in a glass or something like that. But an early AI or a kid doesn't know that. He doesn't attain that level of intelligence. So yeah, he brought water in palm, which is technically right, but my prompt engineering is bad there. What I said is wrong. If I would have said, "Hey kid, bring water in a glass," or "Bring me a glass of water," something like that, he would have brought. He would pour the water into a glass and he would have brought it to me. But the mistake is from my side, not the kid. So that the same applies here also. The AI is not wrong. You are wrong. You are not telling the AI what to do properly. So your outputs are wrong. And the way you tell is called prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is the practice of designing inputs to AI language models. Systems like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, these all rely on prompt engineering to reliably produce the output you actually want. Think of it like this: these AI systems are extraordinarily capable, but they are also extraordinary literal. They all follow literal meaning. They will give you exactly what you ask for, including all the ambiguity, vagueness, incompleteness in your question, all of that. So one of the example of bad prompt is write me something about climate change. This is one of a bad prompt. When you give a prompt like this, it can go wrong or it can go right. So one better prompt of the same line, like give me something about climate changes. You are a science journalist writing for a 16-year-old audience. In 200 words, explain one concrete way climate change has affected wildlife in the past decade. Use a specific example and with a question that makes the reader wants to learn more. If you give a sentence like this, that makes AI to think properly and to give you the right output. So same topic, completely different output. And in top AI firms, this is the salary of a prompt engineer. So the 6 prompting techniques. Zero shot, or first of all, any doubts still here? And your prompt should always follow these 4. I forgot to mention. One is the role. What is your AI being asked to be? Whether is your AI a senior UX designer with 10 years experience at top tech companies, or whether your AI is a instructor who is teaching AI ML, anything. You should specify a role. Then you should specify a task, like write a 3-paragraph summary of, write a 150 word product description for, something like that. Next is the context, to whom you're doing and for what you're doing. The audience is non-technical executives, just skeptical of AI. The audience is 22 to 25 to 35-year-old of urban professionals. Context. Next is format and constraints. In what format you want and what are the rules it has to follow. Use bullet points, avoid jargon, maximum 150 words, and with a single call to action, and with city, all these kind of things, format and rules. Any doubts in all of this? And prompt engineering is a serious topic. It doesn't seem to be, but people actually sell prompts. There is also a website where they sell the prompts. They write prompts and they sell them for $5, $10. So any doubts still here? Okay. So then the 6 prompt techniques. One is zero shot prompting. No examples, you don't give any examples, just clear instruction works best for simple well defined tasks. For example, translate this sentence into Spanish, the meeting is at 3 p.m. That is called zero shot prompting. You have not provided any examples, you have not provided any role or anything like that, but still it is simple and it works. Next is few shot prompting. Few shot prompting is like giving 2 to 5 more examples to the model. First you will give 2 to 5 examples and then you will ask for a next one. So that is called few shot prompting. You already give the style, you already given X and Y, I mean input and output, and you're asking for a different input. Few shot. Next is chain of thought. Chain of thought is the most impactful technique for complex tasks. You instruct the model to reason through the problem step by step before giving any answer. Research from Google shows this reduces errors in AI by 40% or more on logic and reasoning tasks. Example, let's think step by step. First, identify the key stakeholders, then analyze what each stakeholder's primary concern would be, then draft a communication plan that addresses each concern. Finally, write the email. This is whatever I've just read out is the example of chain of thought. Each step have to be explained back to you is what chain of thought talks about. Next is role prompting. Role prompting is you are giving a role to AI. You are an AI engineer, you're a Heimberg style writer, you're a superstar, and you're giving an AI a role and you're asking data from it. Like you're David Ogilvy, the father of advertising, write a product description for a luxury watch. These kind of example driven, this kind of role driven prompting is called role prompting. Next is tree of thoughts. There is a difference between chain of thoughts and tree of thoughts. Tree of thoughts asks the model to generate multiple solution paths and evaluate which one is the best. Example, generate 3 completely different approaches to solving this marketing problem. For each approach, list 2 strengths, 2 weaknesses, then recommend which one to pursue and why. This is an example of tree of thoughts. And the final is iterative refinement. This is not a single technique, it's a mindset. You have to treat your first prompt output as a rough draft, then script it. Example, your round one, let's say your first prompt is write an introduction for my presentation on climate change. The second one will be make it more urgent, cut it to 3 sentences. The third one will be replace the second sentence with a surprising statistic. I mean, you're putting a bad prompt, but you're iteratively making it better going forward. That is called iterative refinement. You start bad, but you go till it is good. Yeah, any doubts in these 6? Okay. Okay, Monish, till now we have talked about storytelling. Suddenly you're talking about prompt engineering. What is this, Monish? What is the connection? So this is where storytelling meets prompt engineering. I want to show you. I want to show you the bridge between everything in this class so far. That is the reason I started with storytelling. Prompt engineering have to be actually in a different class, but I wantedly brought this here in this today's class because these both are well connected. I'll tell you how. Every storytelling technique maps directly to a prompting strategy. All the prompt engineering techniques that you are looking today are derived from storytelling. It's science. You can even look it up in internet. Even engineers admitted it. All of the prompt engineering techniques today, they all took it from ancient storytelling. So, example, we have seen about in medias res, right? That is the describe the output first method. Here's the kind of email I want at the end. Now help me to write one for this situation. These kind of prompts come from in media res. And role prompting is nothing but your character prompting. I mean your character. I was talking about character driven story, right? Role prompting is nothing but character. Frame the problem before asking the solution is your conflict. Using examples is your show don't tell. You're getting my point, right? How they are connected. So all your prompt engineering techniques are somewhat connected to storytelling only. And yeah, here also some more examples I've given you. Specifying the narrative structure, the hero's journey, defining the protagonist want and need. These all comes under your prompting. You can use these techniques inside your prompting. And this is a sample mega prompt. You are a master storyteller. Use the hero's journey framework. Write the outline of the short story about who wants goal but needs deeper need. Set it in the word. Include an unreliable narrator. This is the tone. This is the format. Why I mentioned this mega prompt is because this is the exact prompt I use in my conferences and in whenever I have to tell a storytelling about findings that we have done. I use this exact prompt. I give this to ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity, and I will see which one is better, and I'll submit the report. So any doubts in this? Okay. So the next is, what is prompt engineering do's and don'ts? Be specific. Assign always a role to the prompt. Add emotional stakes. Iterate on a single draft. Until and unless you are satisfied, you have to iterate. Don't be vague. Don't ask for everything at once. Don't accept the first output, and don't ignore the format instructions that I just said. So this is a prompt engineering challenge. Write a zero-shot prompt to get ChatGPT to write a 100-word brand story for a fictional coffee shop. Compare your outputs with your partner. This one I thought. Or else, if you think this is so boring, Monish, like writing a prompt for this, write a prompt for a beautiful video in Google View or ChatGPT. If you want, you can take this as your assignment and put it in the chat group, or create a prompt that if I copy paste into ChatGPT, Vio, or any video AI platforms, video Gen AI platforms, I have to get a good video that have to surprise me. Either this or that. You can take any one of this. I think these two you don't need to do, but for practice I have added. Upgrade your prompt, add a role, and add one example sentence and see what happens. Then do a chain of thought story, like ask AI to build a hero's journey around that reasoning, including step by step. So this would be your prompt engineering challenge. Yeah, any doubts still here? Okay. So 10 things to remember in this from this class is stories activate 7 times more brain regions. Every story needs a character, conflict, setting, and plot and theme. The hero's journey is a universal template. There will be 12 stages. And till now, 96% of movies who followed hero's journey, where 96% of them are blockbusters. This is again science proven. So conflict, no story, no conflict, no story. Internal conflict is the most powerful of all of them. Show don't tell, you have to always follow this. Prompt is nothing but a role plus task plus context plus format constraints. Chain of thought reduces AI errors by 40%. Few shot prompting, you should always give 2 to 5 examples dramatically, guide AI style. Treat prompting like editing. Iterate 5 to 10 times for best results. And then finally, storytelling plus prompt engineering is the superpower of this AI era. This is the super skill that you can have. Yeah. Any doubts, anyone till now from this entire class? And I'll post this presentation in the group so that you can also do the challenge, that a prompt engineering challenge. But yeah, any doubts till now? Okay. So yeah, if no doubts, that is all for today's class. Next class is going to be on ML. Sorry, not ML. Your this thing, generative LLM and transformers. Next class is going to be a bit more coding. Any doubts in this class, anyone? Before we wind up.
Clear from my end.
Thank you, Kamla. So yeah, that is all for today's class. Then love you all. Take care. I'll see you all in the next class next week. Bye bye then. If anyone have any doubts, please reach out to me. I'm open for one to one as well.
Yeah.
Take care.
I'll reach out to you, Monesh. I have some project that I want to work on, so I need some your inputs.
Yeah, sure, Kamla.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, take care.
Yeah. Have a good day. Bye.